Hi guys, welcome back to the workshop, and in this video we're on to the second part, I believe, of Ewan's Dammit build. In the last part we got it, I say loosely, Ewan got it framed up, and we're just starting to get a bit of strength into it. So I'll show you where we've got to and where we're going with it. So previously we saw all the ribs and spar and everything were all glued up. This part here wasn't glued in, it is now glued in pretty well solid with aliphatic resin. The next stage that we've been looking at just now is getting it even stronger still by getting the leading edges glued in. I've cut these down a little bit so they're still proud at the centre, but it's going to be less to sand off once they're glued in. So we're going to clamp them up, get some glue into them, and hopefully get it all square. Okay, so what Ewan has done is, I think I mentioned before, I'll come back to these in a second. The leading edge has been trimmed to length. We've taken a bit of sandpaper, wrapped around the leading edge just to roll, so these joints here are a nice snug smooth fit. Clamped it all up, so there's alignment tabs on the bottom of these ribs. I don't know how well you'll be able to see, there's just there, that's an alignment tab. So I've got the rule across the back, straight edge, battery on it to keep it all flat on the board, which means the leading edge is actually off the board. Clamped it together so the bottom of the clamps is touching the board there and at the back, and then clamped it together, and then we've put a spot of glue on each rib joint all the way along, and then once we're happy that that's secure and dry, we're going to lift it up and put another spot of glue from the underside, and then we'll also put a spot of glue in that way along all the ribs and in the other way as well. Now, all that we did have here is I've done a little bit of research to find out what batteries and things this takes and modes, etc. Now I thought it took 1000 3S, but apparently it's 1300s or even up to 1500s. So pulled out 1300 and what I think might be a suitable motor, just to get an idea as to what it's going to look like size wise. We've got a fuselage side set here, and that's going to be there, like that. So it gives us an idea what it's going to be like. So yeah, 1300 3S, what size was this again, Ian? I don't know if this will focus on it. 2206, 2300 kV. We've got this motor and we've got another option as well. But yeah, that's where we are with this build so far. Okay, so next step is to have a look at the trailing edge. This at the minute is all just loose. This is a laser cut piece of sheeting. It comes in the kit. There's 4 of these, bottom, top and top, and then these pieces here, I don't know how well you'll be able to see them, but these are all laser cut as well. These are spaces that go in between the ribs, to basically fill the gap between the bottom sheeting and the top sheeting. What I'm going to do, I've already dry fitted this. What I'm going to get Ewan to do is actually slide this trailing edge in, fit it up tight to the tip, because the tip rib is square to the tip plate and it's square to the spar, and it's also locked off square with the leading edge. Once that's in and roughly in that sort of position, we can then put the spacer in and make sure this rib is hard up against the spacer, so basically work our way along, gluing and fitting. I might well see about weighing this down a little bit just to keep these ribs down, but I'll see how it goes. It's sitting quite nicely as it is just now. And once we've done one side, we'll do the other side, and get the mirror image done, so both sides are the same, and then put the top sheeting on. Okay, so a bit of a confession time. All that footage you've just watched, I'd totally forgotten about. This build has gone a bit by the wayside. Lots of things have been getting in the way. Work, life, other modelling products being arranged, other projects being worked on. But just now, everybody in the household apart from me, fingers crossed it doesn't happen just yet, but everybody in the house has been struck down with the dreaded pandemic thing that we can't talk about. So I'm just out here now trying to sort out this video for where we've got to and where we're going with this build. So you saw previously that we had the basic wing framed up, which is here. This piece of sheeting isn't glued in yet, but that's where it's going to sit. That piece is going to glue on there, something like that. And then we've got these two pieces here that make up the fin. That's going to slot in there. And then this piece will be somewhere here, something, not exactly sure yet, but somewhere here. There's a piece to go on the back here, which is that piece there. We've got two elevons, not quite sure at the moment what those two pieces are. And then we've got the fuselage components. Very simple, very effective, and that'll slide in there like that. What else have we got to do? We've got more sheeting to go on here on the top. I can't remember what goes on the bottom off the top of my head. I said it has been a while since I've worked on this. I have been trying to get my head around where it's all going to go, what's going to be done with it. But I just wanted to round off this video with saying where we got to. So in the next part of this build, you'll see all this lot getting worked on, hopefully getting closer to being finished. So until then, catch you a bit later.